Well, thanks for talking to us, Dave. Thanks for having a little chat ahead of the game against Lincoln. Can we get straight up to date with how the treatment room is, please, if you don't mind? We've got one or two that we'd like to catch up on. Donovan Daniels, Callum Ainley, Luke Murphy, Luke Offord.
Callum Ainley played 65, 70 minutes, came through unscathed on Wednesday, did fine. Still finding his football brain, if you like, that's been in the cupboard for a while. So that's where we are with him, but he's going along great. It was next Donovan. Fine, no real issues. A bit of stiffness, expected, not a problem. Next was Murph. Fine, not a problem. Luke Offord was out on the grass he's been out on the grass all this week, started kicking balls yesterday, progressing very well.
So good to see that Callum Ainley's got some minutes under his belt and relief on the others as well, on the other two, because Donovan Daniels and Luke Murphy in the recent, apart from Tuesday night, have been with you in your starting 11 of late.
Yeah. There's always niggles, there's always bits and bobs. And, you wrap them up in cotton wool, you get them rested and, poke them in the eye and suddenly them little niggles feel better because they're worried about their eye.
I just want to talk a little bit about a little tag that you've used in the last couple of games. It's something that's been around the club for about 30 odd years, and it's called Little Old Crew. I just want to be interested in Little Old Crew from your point of view in terms of when I hear what Neil Critchley says and when I hear what Lee Johnson says, and I've heard what more than one or two managers have said about your football club. Is it still Little Old Crew?
When I'm talking, it is, yeah.
Why do you still see it like that when you've got players that are being looked at in the Championship, going in the Championship, you're going great guns in League One and showing real good progress?
I think I could quite easily sit here and go, Sunderland with their £8 million budget makes us Little Old Crew, but then people think that I'm moaning about how much money Sunderland have got or how much or lack of money that we've got. So I can't be, if you want me to be really, really candid, I can do. We've got the lowest budget in the league. That makes us Little Old Crew or Little Crew, period, full stop, no argument. That's where we're at. That's not a criticism and it's not a complaint and it's not either a jealous look at the opposition that we're facing, whether it be Lincoln this week or Sunderland or Blackpool or whoever, the teams that you mentioned, or a criticism of where they're at either. That's just the reality and that's the facts. That makes us Little Old Crew. Every week we're underdogs. Every week. Now, opposition. I read something by Kenny Jackett because I think Ryan Lowe had when they played a month ago or so that he was saying that Portsmouth have got far bigger resources than them. And I'm sure that is true. I'm sure Portsmouth have got far bigger budget than Plymouth, but Plymouth aren't doing bad themselves. And Kenny Jackett's response was, well, whenever a manager talks about money, it tends to be from their own angle as opposed to the opposition angle. And I thought, he's right. He's absolutely spot on. So I'm always mindful of the fact that I don't want to speak in a way that can be construed that we are just fighting for survival, because we're not. But at the same time, we can't put ourselves anywhere near the bracket that the big clubs in this league are in. And that's where Little Old Crew comes from. That's the truth. So I'm not trying to hoodwink anyone. And then when opposition managers, I presume you're saying that some managers speak favourably about us, which is lovely. They're just going on what I suppose what really matters, what happens on the pitch. Now we have to work extremely hard for that to happen and develop players and pick gems that nobody else wants from outside. And that is hard. That's really hard because we can't just, when I say be lazy in our recruitment, we can't just assume that people will come to us because we are a Sunderland or an Ipswich or whatever. And that's not being derogatory to them or saying that they're lazy in their recruitment. That's not the point. I'm talking purely about us. We have to be outside the box. We have to be inventive. We have to go early. That comes with risks and obviously rewards as well. So that's, we have to do things differently at this football club because of the resources that we've got. And that makes us smaller. It does. That makes us smaller, but sometimes that's our advantage and that's our USP. So that's it in a nutshell, if you like. I know I've gone on for 2 minutes there, but that's it in a nutshell, and that's what I mean, you know. And I'm not playing us down, and I'm not being critical of the opposition. I'm just saying that's where we're at. We have to work extremely hard to develop players and work with players and give them the tools to be successful.
Well, I'm just going to finish off with one more question on that, because it's been great just to get that reply. 3 defeats in 18 in League One, that's all you've suffered. I know you've drawn quite a lot of games. Do you feel, though, just your view, you've gained a lot of respect and you're gaining respect for what you're doing?
I don't think that's a question for me to answer. I think that's a question for you, Lee Johnsons and Neil Critchleys and Michael Appletons or whoever you want to add. You know, that's for others to judge. I'll just do my work. We'll work extremely hard. I'll make sure the players do exactly the same, their work, and work hard at their game, do their job, and the staff the same. And if that gains us respect, then great. You know, because that's always nice to hear. But that's, you know, that's just one of the aims that is always there. And if that's working, then great. You know, I didn't realise we'd only lost 3 in 18. It's not a bad stat. You know, it's a good stat. You know, I'm sure there's not many that have got that kind of stat. So that's good to know, and we'll just keep working hard.
Well, you keep going with those great fixtures and real top tasty fixtures that you've got when you take on Lincoln tomorrow. Just wrapping up from the other night, something that we picked up and got interested on, but didn't just get to ask you. You had a free kick against you just outside the penalty area. In Blackpool's favour, and you devised a wall where it's split, 2 in one side, 2 in another, and a gap. Is that something you practice, or something that you found that can be worthwhile to you?
Yeah, we did that earlier on in the season. We had a wall like that earlier on in the season, a lot closer, right on the edge of the box it was at home. And it's something that Fred and the goalkeepers think that could be beneficial when it's that close in. You know, you listen. At the end of the day, we'll save the free kick earlier on the season, and Trig saved the one the other night. So that's, you've got to say it's done its job. I'm sure there'll be others that say that they'll pick the bones out of it. We've got to, again, it's stuff like that we try and highlight and develop and progress, so that we become harder to beat and a more effective team. And if that helps, then great.
Well, Michael Appleton's side wait for you come Saturday afternoon. It'll be your 3rd meeting against them this season. You want to be 3rd time lucky. You know what you're going to be facing. Yeah,
they're a good team, good manager, good team, good coach. So it's going to be a tough afternoon. We know it is. We're in a tough run of fixtures, but we're, you know, if you said to us, Accrington, Sunderland and Blackpool, and we haven't lost yet, you'd go, yeah, okay, good. You know, so, and Lincoln and Doncaster are 2 more toughies, and Burton are going to be tough because they're in great form. So we know that the games are tough, and it's always a tough place to go, but we've been there before, and I think last time we went there, we won 4-1. So, you know, we don't hold any, you know, going back to the respect question, I've said it before, we respect everyone. We don't fear anyone. That's not playing anything down. It's not bigging anything up. That's just how I think that's how a sportsman has to approach every game. You know, you look at boxing for that. I think if you go into the ring and you fear someone, you're in trouble. And I'm not equating football to boxing, but I am that mindset beforehand, and it's going to be a real tough afternoon. There's no getting around that fact. But can we beat them? Yeah, we can. I think any team can beat any team, any other team in this league. So we've got to make sure we're the team that come out on top.
The one thing that you seem to have got going in the last couple of games, and fingers crossed it keeps going, and touch wood and everything, that you started the games right on the front foot. You started at Blackpool on the front foot. You started against Sunderland on the front foot. Just been reading one or two comments about what Michael Appleton is saying. He's having a little bit of a problem, isn't he, at the moment, with his side starting slowly. So it's down to you boys to get stamp your authority on it.
You've done your research early, haven't you, Graham, this week? Eh? Still on furlough, are you?
Just answer the question, please.
Sorry, Graham. Yeah, look, I think the game's won over 90 minutes, but you can win the game in the first 15, first 20 minutes. You know, I think that's important. You can certainly lose it in the first 15 and 20, that's for sure. So we know that, you know, the start to each half was an area of improvement, and we've done better in that than we had done previously. And that's got to continue. It's just another area, like I keep saying. It's all these little bits that you've got to keep improving and keep developing so that you become a better team and harder to beat. And that's an area that I hope we've improved, and it's one that we've got to keep going, keep maintaining them standards going forward.